Everybody, it's Carlos again with the Sunday school lesson. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I wanted to get this lesson out to you, of course, before the Sunday school, but I'm a day late, or a couple days late. I want to get it to you before, so forgive me. Now, the title of the lesson is The Cleansing of the Temple, the Cleansing of the Temple. So when last we met, Jesus was just entering Jerusalem, and he was entering it very meek and lowly on a donkey, if you recall. And now we have the cleansing of the temple, and we're going to take it from, as you can see, Isaiah 56, 6 and 7, Jeremiah 7, 9 through 11, and Mark 11, 15 through 19. So Bible scholars, if we're talking about cleansing of the temple, and so we're talking about during when Jesus was on earth before he was crucified, why would we be going to Isaiah and Jeremiah? Right, because it's all about what the prophets foretold. I mean, that's the title of this particular unit, what the prophets foretold. So we want to show the harmony of the Bible, the Old Testament and New Testament. So we have those great prophets, Isaiah and Jeremiah, and we're gonna see what they have to say about it. And then we have, of course, our beloved brother Mark, who's gonna bring it home for us. All right, now Isaiah. In Isaiah, we read that. Whoops, let me get to it. Also the sons of the stranger that join themselves to the Lord to serve him and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants, everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it and taketh hold of my covenant. Okay, so you see all my underlines and scribbles here. So what's sons of the stranger? What are we talking about there, sons of a stranger? We're talking about Gentiles. Isaiah is talking about the fact that everyone's going to have a right to the tree of life. Everyone is going to be able to have the love of the Lord if they keep the Sabbath holy and if they don't pollute it. So that's kind of a foreshadowing of what's going to come. But this is to say that the sons of the stranger, this is talking about Gentiles. So it's Jews and Gentiles. Even them back to the Gentiles, will I bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer. So we're talking about the temple here. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon mine altar, for mine house should be called a house of prayer for all people. Okay. Then, likewise, Jeremiah the prophet talks about the foretelling, and he's talking about, will ye still murder and commit adultery and swear falsely and burn incense unto Baal and walk after other gods whom ye know not? He's talking about, in this case, the Israelites or the Jews that are not doing what they're supposed to do as far as keeping the Sabbath holy and doing what they're supposed to do in the temple. And Jesus is gonna have some things to say and to do about that. Verse 10, and come and stand before me in this house, which is called by my name, and say, we are delivered to do all these abominations. It doesn't make sense. You're going to say that because you are God's people, you have a right, you're somehow delivered, you're exempt from responsibility, and you get to do what you want in the temple? Absolutely not. This is not right. If anything, those of us who are a part of the body, we should hold ourselves at a higher standard. And in fact, we are held at a higher standard. To whom much is given, much is required. Is this house, which is called by my name, become a den of robbers in your eyes? Behold, even I have seen it, said the Lord. So this is not being hidden from the Lord. So now you have two foretellings. You have Isaiah and you have Jeremiah foretelling about Gentiles and foretelling as well about the temple. Keep in mind, this foretelling is around anywhere from 600 to 700 before the birth of Christ. So this is well before Christ's earthly reign, the first time, his first physical reign. All right, now we get to Mark. All right, and they come to Jerusalem. They recall from last week, we're talking about Jesus and the disciples. And they come to Jerusalem, and Jesus went into the temple and began to cast out them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats of them that sold up. They were turning the temple into a market. So, think about a mall, or think about, open air market. This is what they were turning the temple into. And so Jesus was not happy about that, just showing this picture here. He literally overthrew the tables and admonished them not to do this in the temple. And then he began to teach them, and would not suffer, in verse 16, would not suffer that any man should carry any vessel through the temple. Verse 17, and he taught them. That's what I love about it. So he shifted quickly from admonishment, from telling them, hey, look, this is my temple. I would not have you do this in my temple. And he was overthrowing tables. But look at the discipline in verse 17. He began immediately teaching, saying unto them, is it not written, my house shall be called of all nations the house of prayer? But ye have made it a den of thieves. And the scribes and chief priests heard it, and sought how they might join hands with him. So they took their charge and said, please forgive me, we're going to get better. No. They sought how they might destroy him, for they feared him, because all the people was astonished at his doctrine. So Jesus is the word. So of course he was able to teach the word and knew the word, and people were drawn to this. And, beloved, what I got across to the teenagers on yesterday during the lesson was, do a great work, do something good, do something exemplary, and expect the haters to come. Jesus was an exemplary teacher. He was the perfect teacher. He is the word. He knew the word. He's the word made flesh, drawing people to him. And of course, this became a threat to the leadership in the temple, to the priests and the chief priests. So they sought to destroy him. And when evening was come, he went out of the city. So that's a good lesson for us. It's a good lesson. Hatred will come. You don't have to just stay there in that place of hatred, and don't think you're going to change these haters. I would admonish you to dust the dust off your feet and keep on moving. I don't know. Can you see this? You just flick that dirt off your shoulders and just move on. Move on to the next city. Move on to the next town, the next thought. All right. Wonderful lesson. Wonderful lesson. Let's see. So let's talk about some questions. We'll do a few of them. We'll do 4 of them. Let's see. The first question: what previously excluded persons did Isaiah foresee participating in the temple? We just talked about that. That's Isaiah 56:6. Remember, we called them the sons of the stranger. So these are the Gentiles. Question 2. How did the death of Christ affect the Gentiles' access to God? You can find this in Romans 10, 12, and 13. You can find it in other places, but I like Romans 10, 12, and 13 because it talks about Jews and Gentiles are allowed in. There's no separation, and all you have to do is believe on Jesus Christ, and everyone has a right to the tree of life. 5. In what ways had Solomon's temple been defiled? They were selling doves. I mean, they were just, they were being bad boys. That's in Mark 11:15. And then the last one, how did the leaders react to Jesus' purification of the temple? Hatred, right? That's Mark 11:18. The haters. So beware of the haters, y'all. Keep your head up. Be encouraged. If you need some help, give me a call, give me an email. And keep on keeping on, beloved. We'll check you out in a couple days for next week's lessons. God bless.